Hi and welcome to your first mobility workout. We're going to start with breathing. So we're going to find just a comfortable position to sit down, or you can lie down if you prefer, and we're just going to slow our breath down a little bit. So take a minute to get comfortable. Feel free to grab a cushion to sit on, just anything to stop you being in that kind of slumped, really uncomfortable position. So make sure that you're happy. And just start to slow your breath down a little bit. Start to take a really deep inhale and then a really long, slow exhale. Do that a few times. And as you breathe, notice anywhere that you're holding tightness and tension through your body. See if you can allow your body to soften and relax. Notice if you're holding tension through your jaw. So are you clenching your teeth together? Can you allow your teeth to separate? And let your tongue rest against the roof of your mouth. Allow the muscles of your face to soften. Close your eyes if you want to. And let your shoulders relax down away from your ears. Keep taking those nice deep breaths. And bringing your awareness to what parts of your body are moving as you breathe. So can you feel when you take a deep breath in that your rib cage is expanding? And then contracting back down as you exhale. Do a few breaths there, really focusing on the movement of your rib cage. Sometimes it helps if you put your hands there so that you can feel that movement. And we want to really try and make our rib cage expand as much as we can with every breath. Not only side to side, but also front to back. So can you feel, it's like a 3D breath, that rib cage opening out and then contracting back down. Just do a couple more breaths here. And now we're going to start to move. We're only going to start with our hands and our wrists, because quite often tension will kind of start in one area and then travel around your body. So it's no good fixing shoulders or back or neck without thinking about what's going on and what's attached to them and pulling on them. So the first thing we're going to do is to check the range of motion we have at our wrists. So if you bring your hands together and your elbows together, and then open your hands apart as wide as you can, and then have a look and see how wide your hands have opened. Have a look at the angle between your hand and your forearm. Okay, and now we're going to come onto all fours. We're going to take a moment to get this set up right. So fingers are going to spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, and then I want you to roll the inside of your elbow. We're going to call it the elbow pit. Elbow pits are going to be forwards. Okay, so from here, you're going to keep those arms nice and straight, but you're going to let your shoulder blades come together in your back and then press your shoulder blades wide. We're going to keep doing this. This is our rhomboid push-up. Shoulder blades squeeze together, shoulder blades press wide. Keep going. And you're trying to keep those elbow pits forward. So have a little look at your elbow pits and make sure they haven't turned to look towards each other. We want them to stay facing forwards. And we're going to do two more here. And one more time. And then just come on off your hands for a moment. Find a position that works. I'm happy kneeling. Sit down on your bottom if you need to. You're going to bring your elbow and tuck it into your side. Palm faces up towards the ceiling. Use your other hand to pull your fingers back. So finger extension, stretching out your fingers. And then gently pull each finger in turn back. And same on the other side. Elbow tucks in, palm faces up. Use your other hand to pull all the fingers back together. And then pull each finger in turn. And you're trying to keep your fingers straight, so try not to let them buckle and bend. And then just give your thumbs a wriggle. Maybe do some big circles with your thumbs and go the other way. We're going to go back onto all fours again, and we're going to do the rhomboid push-up again. This time we're going to turn our head to one side. So let's turn it to the right first. So take a moment to get you set up. Fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits forwards. Once you're happy, straight arms, shoulder blades squeeze together. Press wide. We're trying to get as much movement as we can, and then turn your head to the right. trying to get as much movement as we can through those shoulder blades. Last one. Again, coming off your wrists, give your hands a little circle, and the other way. Again, elbow tucks in, palm faces up. You use your other hand to stretch out the fingers, finger extension. Gently pull in each finger and turn back. Trying to keep the fingers straight, try not to let them buckle and bend. Same on the other side. Pulling all of the fingers back. So fingers stay straight, and then pull in each finger and turn back. Again, just give your thumbs a little wriggle. Back onto all fours, we're going to have our head to the left this time. Fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other, elbow pits forwards. All right, head turns to the left, squeeze your shoulder blades, press them wide. So you're just noticing if it's different as your head is to each side. Keeping those elbow pits forwards. Do you have more movement now that you've done it a few times? 2 more. Last one, and then the last time we're going to come off. Shake out your hands this time. Elbow tucks in, palm faces up. You use your other hand to pull your fingers back. And we're going to do different combinations of fingers this time. So maybe do 2 at a time. And then maybe do like your little finger and your middle finger, and then your ring finger and your first finger. Just give them all a good stretch. Do the same on the other side, so all together first. And then maybe doing them in 2s. And maybe do 1 finger and miss 1. You're going to grab your thumb this time, so thumbs up. Use your other hand. You're going to really try and get around the base of your thumb, and then move your thumb around. Maybe do some circles with your thumb. And then get your opposite thumb into the fleshy bit between your thumb and first finger, and just give it a little massage. And I'm using the knuckle of my first finger on the other side to kind of get in there as well. Just give it a little bit of love, a little bit of attention. And then we're going to do the thumb on the other side. So again, thumbs up. Use your other hand to grab that thumb, move it around. Maybe do some circles in each direction. And then again, get your thumb into the fleshy bit, and you can use the knuckle of your first finger or whatever works for you to get in there and just give it a little bit of a massage. Okay, shall we check our wrist extension again? Let's see how much range we've got and whether it's the same or whether we've created any change there. So elbows and palms together, and then open out your hands. And then notice, do you have more than you had to start with? I think mine are closer to 90 degrees than they were to start with, and that's kind of our goal, is to get to 90 degrees if possible. So give your hands a little shake out now. Just give your shoulders a little circle, turn your head side to side, just making sure that you aren't creating and holding tension. We always want to be aware of anything that starts to make us grip that tension and tightness. We're going to come down now onto our back. So lie down on the floor with your knees bent and your feet flat. Take a moment to get comfortable here. If you feel that you need something under your head because your chin is poking up towards the ceiling, or your rib cage is lifting up towards the ceiling, get a cushion or a block or something to pop under your head, which is going to help your ribs to relax down and just keep you much more comfortable and get your body in better alignment there. So just pause here. Can you think about your rib cage being heavy? Back of the rib cage is anchoring down onto the floor. And then think about your pelvis. Can you see if you can get the back of your pelvis to anchor down flat onto the floor so that your pelvis isn't tipping towards you and it isn't tilting away from you, it's just level. And take a couple of breaths there. Now we're going to take our arms up towards the ceiling. Have your palms facing in towards each other. As you inhale, I want you to reach your fingertips to the ceiling, allowing your shoulder to lift away from the floor, and then exhale as you anchor your shoulder back down. We're going to do that a few times. Inhale to reach, and exhale to anchor back down. Keep going. We're going to do one more like this. And as you anchor your shoulders down this time. We're going to keep them anchored. This time as you inhale, you're going to take your arms up and over your head towards the floor, but don't let your rib cage lift. And then we're going to exhale, we're going to bring the arms back up to the ceiling. Let's use our breath here. Inhale as your arms go overhead, and then exhale as they come back towards the ceiling. Keep going. Notice as your arms go overhead, that tendency for your rib cage to lift. So if you've got a lot of tension as the arms go over, then the ribs lift and the back of the rib cage lifts away from the floor. We don't want that to happen. So if that means you can only get your arms not over your head, then that's fine, and that's where you're going to work too. It's more important that we keep the rib cage down because we're trying to break up the tension. We don't want every time we move our arms for our rib cage to move as well. So we're uncoupling the tension and the tightness there. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more time. And then just allow your arms to come all the way down to your hips this time. Bring your knees into your chest. Give your knees a little hug and just rock gently side to side. Now you can come back to this movement at any time if you just need a little break. And this is a great reset. Okay, we're going to bring our feet back down onto the floor and think again about that pelvis being level on the floor, rib cage being anchored and down. We're going to take our arms down by our sides this time. Let's have palms facing up towards the ceiling. We're going to start to slowly slide the arms out along the floor and up towards your head. Again, watching for that rib lift. Only take your arms as high as you can maintain that rib connection, and then slowly bring your arms back down. Let's use the breath. Inhale as your arms go up towards your head, and then exhale as you come back down. If that breathing pattern doesn't work for you, just breathe. It's more important that you breathe than anything else. And nice and slow, keeping a check on what's happening with your body. So we're just trying to move the arm. We don't want the ribs to go, your back to arch, anything else to happen at all. So these are our floor angels. Let's do 2 more here. And as your arms come down to your hips this time, we're going to float the arms back up towards the ceiling again. Palms facing towards each other, and then interlace your fingers. Knit them as tightly together as you can, and flip your hands over to press your palms to the ceiling, stretching into your hands. Again, we're going to keep our shoulder blades and the back of our ribs anchored. And as you inhale, take your arms overhead as far as you can go without the ribs lifting. Hang out there and just take some breaths here, stretching into your shoulders, your arms, your hands. When you're ready, slowly bring your hands back up towards the ceiling. Bring your fingers apart and give your fingers a wriggle. Really stretch and get as much space between each finger as you can. And then circle your wrists around. And reverse, go the other way. And then we're going to gently pull each finger, start with your thumb, pull each finger and thumb back into, keeping them straight. Again, just giving a little stretch out. When you've done them all, give them a wriggle again. And then just bring your arms down by your sides. Bring your knees into your chest again, give your knees a little hug, and just rock gently side to side. Okay, we're going to come up onto all fours again now. So when you're ready, come up to all fours. So that setup that we did with the hands earlier on is really, really important, and we're going to use that setup every time. That puts our shoulders and our upper back in a neutral position, and a neutral position just means the position that everything can work at its optimum in. Okay, so let's go fingers spread wide again. You always want to make sure that your hand is directly under your shoulder, so it doesn't want to be too far forwards or too far the other way. So hand under shoulder, fingers spread wide, and try and have your hand planted firmly down on the floor. Notice if there's a tendency for your fingers to buckle, that's just tension in your hands, so spread them wide. Try and get your thumbs to point towards each other. This is a real stretch for your hands. And then elbow pits forwards. Now having elbow pits forwards gets your shoulders in that great position. Okay, and then from here, we're going to gently rock our weight forwards and backwards. So we're loading and unloading your hands and your wrists. So you can make this movement as big or as small as you like. Obviously, the further forward you go, the more load there is to your wrist. So you can take this at your own pace. Now, talking about your alignment, think about when we just did our rhomboid push-ups before, how our shoulder blades were close and then far apart. You kind of want them to be about halfway between those 2 points because that's a stable shoulder. So when you're here, you don't want your shoulders kind of squeezing in towards each other, and you don't want to have them really wide so you're arching. You kind of want to be halfway in between those 2 points. Now, have a look at your elbow pits. Have they snuck around to have a look towards each other? Keep those elbow pits forwards. And again, let's just rock gently forwards and backwards here. And then just come off your hands for a minute. We're going to go back onto them in a minute, but just give them a little shake out. We're going to turn the hands out a little bit. So we had them straight ahead before. We're going to turn them out about 45 degrees, okay? So let's do that. Still want those fingers spread wide. Thumbs as far away from your fingers as you can. Your thumbs are going to point more towards the top of your mat this time if you're using a mat. Okay, elbow pits still forwards. And we're going to rock our weight again forwards and backwards. Think about those shoulder blades so they're not collapsing in. We're just kind of halfway between those 2 points, and we're nice and strong through the elbows, through the wrists and through the hands. All right, come on off your hands again, a little shake out. I think you know what's coming next. We're going to turn the hands out a little bit more now, so we kind of go to that 90-degree position from where we started. Fingers spread wide. Thumbs are going to point straight up towards the top of your mat this time. Elbow pits forwards. And again, let's rock forwards and backwards. Now, you might find that as you start to take your hands out more, that your range of rocking is less, and that's fine. Can we go straight into the next one from here? If you need to shake out your hands, do, but can you turn your hands down? Now, kind of again, that 45-degree position. Strong elbows, strong wrists as you rock forwards and backwards. If you need to come off your wrists at any time, then do. You know your body, you know how it feels. If you need a rest, you need a rest. All right. Let's come on off your hands again. It's a lot of work for the wrists. Good shake out. This is a great little move, by the way. Even just shaking your hands, like you wash your hands and there's no towel there. Give them a good shake out. It just loosens off any tightness and tension. Okay, the very last move that we're going to do here is to try and get your hands as far the other way as you can. Can you get your fingers to point towards your knees? Only go to where you can, but can you have your fingers pointing towards your knees? Thumbs are going to point out to the side and fingers are still spread wide. Those elbow pits are definitely pointing forwards now and rocking forwards and backwards here. So it might have a much smaller range, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, come on off your wrists. Give the fingers a wriggle. Let's do reverse prayer hands. So bring the backs of your hands together. Pull your thumbs away from the rest of your fingers and start to lower your hands down, making sure that you aren't rounding your shoulders forward. Let your shoulders relax down. And just take a couple of breaths here. And then just release. Give your hands a little wriggle, give them a little shake. Okay, so from there, let's go back onto all fours. And then take your bottom back towards your heels, reach your arms forwards and relax down into child's pose to stretch and release your back. And just take a few breaths here. We're going to add a little bend onto this now. So take your left hand, reach it up and over your right hand and place it on the floor to the outside of your right hand, giving you a little bit more of a stretch down your left hand side. Can you take some deep breaths here? Notice how you can feel more of a stretch through your shoulders and your upper back on your left side. You're going to do the same on the other side now. So bring your left hand back down. Take your right hand up and over and place it down on the outside of your left hand. Again, take some deep breaths here. Allow your body to be as relaxed and as soft as possible. But notice how when you take a deep breath, you get a real big stretch through your right side, especially around your shoulders, your upper back. Really feeling the expansion of your rib cage. And take a few breaths here. And then just coming back in through centre. And then we're going to come back up onto all fours again. So fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other and elbow pits forwards. We're going to do a cat-cow from here. So take a breath. As you exhale, I want you to tuck your bottom under so you're rounding through your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. And then let your head just drop down between your arms and just hold here for a couple of breaths. Really making your back as rounded as possible, like a super angry cat. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to go the other way this time. So you're going to stick your bottom out this time. Rolling through your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Think about bringing your chest through your arms and your head is the last thing to move. Take a breath, let's go again. As you exhale, tuck your bottom under, round, roll through your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Your head is the last thing to move. Take a breath in and exhale, go the other way, stick your bottom out. So we're going to do a few more here, go at your own pace. Think about that movement rippling up your spine from your tailbone all the way to your head. And try and soften the movement, make it kind of flow like a wave. Alright, this time as you come through centre, we're going to come down onto our elbows now. You're going to take your right hand and turn it so the palm's facing up and thread it behind your left elbow. Allow your right shoulder and your head to come down towards the floor and just take a few breaths here. If you feel like you need more space, you can take that left arm out a couple of inches and that gives you a little bit more space if you feel like you're a little bit tied up. But reaching that right arm through, palm is facing up towards the ceiling, and take some deep breaths here. The more you reach your arm through, the more stretch you're going to get through your shoulders and your upper back. And we're going to do the same on the other side. When you're ready, coming up, placing your right arm back down. Again, if you feel like you needed more space, take your right arm out to the side a couple of inches. Left arm, palm up, is going to thread behind your right elbow. And again, twist it around, bring your ear and your shoulder down to the floor or down to a cushion if you prefer, reaching that left arm through. Again, that really nice stretch. Taking some deep breaths. And when you're ready, come back through. Take your bottom back towards your heels again into child's pose and just hold there. Sometimes it feels nice if you circle your arms out to the sides and then bring your hands down by your feet. Just allow your hands to rest here, head can reach down to the mat, or you can grab a cushion if you prefer. It's also nice to add a bit of weight onto your wrists, so if you can lift up the front of your ankles and slide your hands underneath, then when you allow your weight of your body to rest back down, it's going to apply a little bit of pressure to the wrist, and that can kind of feel nice to help release tension and tightness there. So find a position that works for you, that's going to be comfortable and that you can sit in for a few minutes. Now, often it helps if you find something to sit on, like a cushion or something that's going to help you to find a more neutral pelvis, and that means that you're not sitting on your tailbone. So you don't want to be in that kind of rounded position, and if sitting down on the floor makes you here, you want to get something so that you're able to then lift your pelvis to find a more neutral position. And it makes it more comfortable too, so don't be afraid to use something. And then just legs crossed or legs out long or whatever works for you, and feel free to switch up your leg position. Don't stay in one position all of the time. So even if I don't tell you to switch, feel free to move around a little bit. Okay, we're going to bring the backs of the hands together for reverse prayer hands. So backs of the hands together, and let your thumbs touch, and then pull your thumbs away from the fingers. Okay, so get the backs of your hands touching, and then start to lower the hands down, and you're trying to keep the backs of the hands together as you lower your hands down to sort of elbow height. Notice if that's made your shoulders round. Can you relax your shoulders? Nice open through your chest. Are your hands tipping in to your chest wall? Can you think about pulling the arms out a little bit? And just take a couple of breaths there. And then just let that go. Give your fingers a little wriggle. Give your hands a little shake. Okay, we're going to do one of my favourite exercises now. We're going to take one arm out in front, and imagine that you're holding onto a cup of water, and you're going to tip that water out. So you're going to take your arm into external rotation, and we're going to take the arm out to the side. So just the arm's going, your whole body isn't going. So arm goes out to the side. We're going to keep a soft elbow, and we've still got that external rotation. And we're going to think about reaching the elbow away from the shoulder. So you're not going to fully straighten your arm and lock your arm out. We're going to keep that soft bend, and we're reaching the elbow away. And just hold here. So it might feel like quite a big stretch through the upper arm, the shoulder and the chest. Let's tilt our head in the opposite direction. That's just going to give you even more. I like multitasking and kind of pairing movements together to get as much out of them as possible. All right, bring your head back up and just release your arm. Just give your shoulders a little circle around, move your head around. Whatever you need to do to release any tension. We're going to do the same on the other side. So reaching your arm forwards, tip out your cup of water, you're in that external rotation, take your arm out to the side. Again, soft elbow, keep rolling your arm out, and reach the elbow away from the shoulder. Such a good stretch. And then let your head drop down to the opposite side as you keep reaching your elbow away, and just take a couple of breaths here. And then bring your head back into centre, release your arm, a little circle around, just switch up your seated position if you haven't done already. I'm just going to cross my legs over the other way. We're going to do both arms together this time, so reaching both arms out, tipping out your cups of water, externally rotating both arms, take your arms out to the side. We've got that soft elbow. We're reaching the elbows away from the shoulders, and we're going to drop chin to chest now, looking down towards the floor, holding here. Using gravity and the weight of your head to release tension through the back of the neck. So we're allowing the back of the neck to lengthen. We tend to get very short through the back of the neck. So we're restoring some length here. Make sure your shoulders haven't hitched up around your ears. Keep those shoulders down, keep reaching your elbows away. We're going to slowly bring the head back up by doing our head ramp, and that means we're going to think about pulling the chin back, giving yourself a little bit of a double chin, bringing your ears over your shoulders, keeping the length through the back of the neck, so no creases on the back of your neck as your head comes up, and then just release your arms down. Give your shoulders a little circle. Circle them the other way, gently turning your head from side to side, and that's you done. Thank you.